it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the UK. Please do remember, if you are in the UK and would like any of the products that I'm showing you today, or indeed any other products, I would be absolutely thrilled if you would shop with me. The link to my online store is below, and also on my website, which is linked below. Today is another Inspire.Create Challenge day, and we have a colour theme for you. This is about as far from Christmas as you can get, so I've had to put my non-Christmas brain on. We've got Coastal Cabana, Gorgeous Grape and Melon Mambo, and this is the project that I have made using that colour combination. So let me show you how I did it. We are using the piece of cake stamp set and the matching punch. These were bundled when they were first launched. They're not now, so you have to pay full price for both of them. Do remember, if you like a bundle, get it while it is current in the existing catalogue, and then you get 10% off both the stamp set and either the dies or the punch. Okay, so I've got my bits of paper ready to go. I have a scrap of Whisper White. The designer series paper is from the art set, which is Follow Your Art. This one is the one with glue guns on the back, but it's obviously the Coastal Cabana that I'm after. Then I've got Melon Mambo and Gorgeous Grape as my mats, and I will obviously put a white mat inside at the point where I send the card, but knowing my ability to get that wrong, I do it late. Okay, so I'm going to start by stamping the cakes, because they do need to dry, although I have done a bit of a Blue Peter with those, but I'm still going to start with those because this is the order I would do it in if I was doing it in full real time. And as you know, generally speaking, I do like to show you the video in full time, but I'm going to be using the fine tip glue pen and it takes a while to dry, so unless you literally wanted to watch glue dry, I have done a bit of a Blue Peter. So I'm inking up with Melon Mambo and just stamping, and I'm going to do that twice. And then close that up, because that is actually the only Melon Mambo stamping that I'm going to do. I'm very quickly, she says, there they are, trying to find her scissors, going to just cut those out. Because when I use the punch, I want them just on a strip. I'm going to use the Melon Mambo Marvellous Marker. We don't have a Melon Mambo blend, so hence I'm using the Marvellous Marker. You can get this in the Brights set, assuming that they're in stock. Sorry. I've got to colour a top and a bottom, but on the opposite stamps, and I will do a little bit on both of the bottoms, but not much. So I'm using the thick end for the slightly larger areas, and then I'll use the writing end for the thinner bits. Actually, I'll just very quickly do that. And the only reason I'm doing that is because the top of this cake may pop out, because this, let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you. So this is popped up on dimensionals. So it is possible to see down between the two layers. So you do want Melon Mambo to be on the top of both of your cakes, not just the one that you are going to cut out or punch out. Actually both. So having filled in the large space with the large brush, I can just come in and fill in the smaller spaces with the thin end, which is one of the great advantages of our Stampin' Right markers. And obviously it's the same with the blends, although these are so small, these images, that I would probably use the bullet end on the blend, even if we did have a marker in a blend in Melon Mambo. And then just do the same up here, and then I will show you how I have decorated these with some dazzling diamonds. I'm on a bit of a roll with using glittery stuff. I have a Top Tip Tuesday, or had a Top Tip Tuesday. I need to check my schedule. I'm filming a long way in advance because when you see this, I'm on holiday. We wait until the schools go back and then have our holidays because we don't have kids. So to avoid lots of kids and also to avoid high season, we go out of the school holidays. So I've just punched that out, and I'm going to punch this out like that. And you can see why I wanted a strip, because had I put the whole of a piece of card in, I would be getting the base of the cake stand as well. Right, so this I need to trim down because I only want the bottom cake. So there we go, that's trimmed down, really easy. And let me get my dazzling diamonds. I'm just going to pop those to one side for the moment. Dazzling diamonds at the ready. Fine tip glue pen. I'll only do one of these, so because once you've seen one, you really don't need to see another. So all I'm doing with the fine tip glue pen is getting it to actually run. Would be nice. So a small amount of pressure. If you get a bubble, do burst the bubble. And then once it's flowing, you don't actually need to put much pressure on the pot. If you put too much pressure on, you will get a great blob of fine tip glue, which is not really what we're looking for. We want this whole trickling down the cake thing. I'm really hoarse today. This is the first video I'm filming today, and I'm a bit worried that I'm already hoarse because I've got a lot to do because I'm on holiday. Right, okay, so that's everything on that cake. And then to put the pin back in, I tend to just lie the pin on my finger and then introduce the top of the fine tip glue until they meet. Now I am going to use tweezers because I've got them. You don't have to, but it's just easier to hold. And then all I'm going to do is dabble it, dabble being a technical word, dabble it in the dazzling diamonds a few times just so that you know you've got a good coating. Then leave it to dry, simple as. So let me pop that to one side, get rid of that. Pop the lid on my dazzling diamond so if I knock it over it doesn't go flying. And then I'll do my Blue Peter moment. So here are the two that I've already prepared, and we've got all this lovely glitter nicely set. I did these overnight. It doesn't need to be that long, but I was doing it overnight, so I did it overnight. So that's those. Then we do need to do our cake stand, and I have actually stamped my cake stand. So let me just see if that's going to be wide enough. It is. Good. So let's pop. Do be careful when you put Embossing Buddy on foil card that you don't scratch it, because it will scratch because it's foil. Then Versamark on our stamp. Make sure you have the bottom of the cake stand furthest away from the edge of your piece of card, because that's how it's going to go into the punch. Then stamp, silver embossing powder, and let's just pour some of that onto my cake stand. Now, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it just adds a little something. I have got a little bit there that I don't want, so let's get rid of that. There we go, that's better. And again, pop my lid on, always a plan, and grab my heat tool. So, I hope you are enjoying our Inspire.Create.Challenges. We love bringing them to you, but it's great when we see people actually taking part. Now, this you have to be really gentle with. Foil doesn't really like heat. So I am going to bring in my cheese board, and I didn't use it before, but let's see if that helps. Yeah, I think it does. It kind of stops it from curling. It goes very, very quickly. Because it is foil, so it's going to absorb the heat better. Then leave that to dry. waft, 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 and come in with my punch and punch. And it's not really obvious, but it's just, I hope you can see, is it going to focus? Yes, it is. You can see that there is definitely definition. So I'll move slowly so that we don't end up with people getting dizzy. Right, okay, so card base and mats. Let's just crease that. This is just half a sheet of card. The dimensions will be over on my website, which, as I say, is linked below. So that will be easy. Oh, I don't want to do that yet. No, don't do that yet, because I want to put ribbon on. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Actually, I don't need this at all. Right, don't you love it that I know what I'm doing? Okay, snail. So I'm going to put snail round my designer series paper. You can use liquid adhesive if you like. I just think that snail probably is better, particularly if you're doing a large area that is not then covered with other things. So you're less likely to get any bobbling. And I need my tear and tape and a length of the mini stripe, and this is in Gorgeous Grape. So just grab a piece of that. And a couple of lengths of tear and tape, which they are it is slightly wide. Why did I turn that over? It's reversible ribbon. They are slightly wider than the ribbon, but as this is going to be on the back, it doesn't really matter. So just pop those down, press them down well, so that you have a chance of actually peeling the backing off. Otherwise you'll peel the tape off the ribbon, which is not really what we want to do. Come along. There we go. Right, and I want this kind of there. So I'm going to pop this on my grid paper, and I want it kind of there. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 squares up. So I'm going to pop my ribbon down and then go 5.5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5.5 squares. Find a straight line. Pop that. Actually, it's slightly more than 5.5 squares. Not that it really matters. Find a straight line. Pop that across. Make sure that's lined up. Pop that across. That's why you need grid paper. Grid paper is available to order, so do bear that in mind. You can get that on my store below. I might actually list it this time. I don't think we've got any of the pretty grid paper left, but there we go. I'm still using it and I love it. I love my pretty grid paper. Okay, I have a strip of Whisper White, and it's just an ordinary piece of Whisper White, and my Gorgeous Grape. And just, oops, make sure that's well inked. And close that up. Grab my, oh, I put it away, classic label punch. And I put it away and apparently closed it really well. Good heavens. Okay. There we go. It was just, I shut it too well. So I want a bit of a gap next to the H because we're going to use some glitter dots. So get that as central and as straight as possible. Get rid of that, put my punch down, and then we've got everything ready to pop on our card. Now everything will need dimensionals, so I'm only going to put, I'll put one in the middle of that, and then I think I might manage 2 on here, only because it is sort of the main focus. And then I think I'll take a piece for my sentiment. Pop that there, and I need a couple of small dimensionals, or you can use edge pieces again for my cake stand, one at the top and one at the bottom. And I just need a glitter dot for this. Now I used Gorgeous Grape. I could use Coastal Cabana, couldn't I? Why don't I use Coastal Cabana? Because I can. So I'll pick up a small Coastal Cabana. Pop that there. There's Melon Mambo on this sheet as well. This is great because we've got Coastal Cabana, this is Granny Apple Green, Melon Mambo and Gorgeous Grape. So great for this particular project. I will pop this so that it's going just over the edge. Then we want our cake stand because that's where everything will sit, obviously, because it's a cake stand. And, oh, you see I put it that way up before, which is wrong. Oh, I had my cake stand the wrong way up. How funny. You see, my cake stand's the wrong way up. We all make mistakes. There we go. I'm not going to rectify it. You'll see it upside down. Okay, so pop our cake on the middle of our cake stand with our cake stand the right way up, and then pop our second cake on top of that so we get that nice dimension because it is a layered cake. And then I'm going to pop lots of dimensionals, well I say lots, some, on the back of this because I'm going to pop this up as well. And again, this is a great time to use your edge pieces if you wish. Bring in my card base, and then we are done. So you'll find the link to the challenge on my website, which as I say is linked below. If you've got any questions or comments, then do leave those below. I always get back to comments. It may be a little later than usual, bearing in mind I am on holiday. But I will get back to you if you leave a comment. And if you like the video, it's great if you give me a thumbs up. And if you don't already subscribe, there is a subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. So, yeah. And there we go. So, do you prefer the one with the cake stand the right way up and the Coastal Cabana dot, or the one with the cake stand the wrong way up and the Gorgeous Grape one? I would love to know whether you actually noticed that this was the wrong way up until I pointed it out. So anyway, there we go. Thank you very much indeed for watching. As I say, do give this challenge a go. It's quite an interesting colour scheme. It's not one that I would naturally go for, but it is quite an interesting colour scheme. So yeah, there will be lots of other, excuse me, other examples over on the Inspire.Create Challenge website, which is on my website, which is linked below. All the dimensions will be there as well, and I will also list all the products I've used, both below in the description bar and on my website. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!